So now we are live. My name is Jared Sparr, and this is the Business Profits webinar with Al Robinson. The title is When Can Spending More Actually Save You Money? So, one more time for housekeeping, I just want to tell the people that are joining us that we are recording the session, so you are on mute. If you do have questions, please put them in at the end so that we can make sure that we address them and stay in time for everybody. And we will have this available on our website at www.jaredsparr.com for viewing later and sharing if you want. So thank you for joining us, and just a little background on the reason why we do the practice or the business profits webinar is that we want to educate our customers and get them as much information to be as profitable as possible in their business. And how we get the subjects for these typically is we have a survey on the website at jaredsparr.com, and we find out what are the basic most important struggles of the business owners as they come to the website. And often I hear that not necessarily outsourcing, but reducing costs. And I think that one thing that people don't look at or reducing costs is outsourcing. And I think it's a lot easier than you might think. And it's probably in places that you might not think of as far as the opportunities go. So that's why I've got Al Robinson with us. And Al Robinson, our speaker, let's see. Oh, my screen locked up. Let me give you a quick introduction here. Al is our speaker today, and I have known him for years now. We were actually paired inside of a seminar, training seminar a few years ago, and he had so much insight in my business. It was kind of scary. He knew things about my business that I had never considered and gave me some great advice that I actually still use to this day. I knew pretty instantly at that point in time that I needed to partner with him to bring his expertise to my clients. So Al is a trusted professional with exceptional ability to strategize at a high level, especially for small business owners. He's a masterful networker and has limitless amount of resources to support his clients. When you meet Al, three words come to mind: trusted, proactive, and professional. Al has built an indisputable reputation of a strategic thinker who builds solid teams. And he masterfully navigates diverse situations because he makes trust his priority. Al's empire, and this is the part where I apologize, Al, because I got cut off. So tell everyone, well, thank you for joining us, first of all, and tell everybody kind of a little bit of background about what you do and how you got started.
All right, thanks, Jared. I appreciate you having me on. How I got started is I have a background in accounting, fully licensed in all insurance services, and I started my companies. My first company about 9 years ago. I bought a franchise with my wife in Edible Arrangements, and we have two of those now. We also have or I also have a 63-man local sourcing firm operating on the East Coast in Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, and Michigan. And that's where we do what we're going to talk about today is uh, providing options for our clients to pay their employees or support their employees and lower their risk profile at the same time, and therefore lowering their overall cost. So very excited to share that with you guys as well. And then we do a more standard payroll HR outsourcing services as well. And tons and tons of volunteer work with my church, local educational foundations, and just the local BNI group as well. So very busy.
Never a free minute. All right, so let's jump right into it. So, Al, one of the things that we discussed before and while we are putting together this program was how do you know when it's a good time to actually start to outsource?
One of the best times to consider outsourcing is when you realize that you're spending more time doing administrative tasks, and those things could be as simple as payroll, accounting task, HR, accounts payable, accounts receivable. Those types of tasks that don't make you money is a prime time that really need to step back and look at outsourcing or outsourcing those services. A lot of times business owners get stuck in the sense they look at the cost of the service provider versus looking at the cost of their time, or more importantly, their revenue per hour of their time. If they switch that mindset, then outsourcing would become a much easier decision to make.
And my thoughts on that was, generally speaking, if it's something that doesn't directly generate revenue for your business, if it's something that your employees are doing that doesn't make money, then it's probably time to outsource that task. And from my
Hmm.
experience,
Hmm.
it seems like the people are afraid of doing it, but more often than not, because whatever company you're working with, like a payroll company, for example, they know that in and out, so they can do it a lot more efficient and less expensive than you can. And a lot of times, it's actually you save money by outsourcing, so you actually pay more, pay less by having someone else do it.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of business owners as well typically feel that they can do it better themselves. They trust their skills and abilities. But as I said earlier, that is a totally wrong way of approaching the situation. Is that you can make much more by outsourcing that to a payroll company, like you said, who will charge you a fixed rate per person or a fixed rate per month, and you can go out and generate new opportunities. But the key is knowing your key profitability factors, knowing what makes you money, what activities increases your bottom line and decreases your expenses. And that's what we help our clients with.
Very good. And then the next question was, does size matter as far as looking for a provider?
Actually, it's a great question. Size does matter, is what I found. And customers that typically go with the bigger companies, they typically get what they signed up for, but they don't always get what they expected. And what I mean by that is within a larger organization, it's typically treated as a transaction. So you give me information, I will do X and give it back to you in a certain format. And what I find by working with smaller organizations, that the qualities and skills that the smaller organizations are looking for, they're looking for a strategic partner, a partner that can help grow their business, refer them business as well, and it has the same risk and knows what they're going through. A lot of my clients, we have a personal relationship. I was with an IT firm earlier today, and we were talking about strategies of using independent contractors versus hiring in house versus bringing them on board for full blown payrolls. There's 3 or 4 different platforms that we could utilize to help that client achieve their goals and get access to the best talent. A lot of times people are taking a very short sighted view of how best to grow their business. So, always working with the bigger company, you don't necessarily get that hand holding that you're looking for to have a strategic partner sit across from the table from you and help you make those types of decisions. Because when I work with my clients, they're not working with an employee. I am an owner. As I said earlier, I own multiple companies, so I know the pains and the risk and the joys that they have of owning their business. And that's what we share, that information and that knowledge.
Gotcha. And hopefully I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but one of the examples that we talked about before was workman's comp. And I'm not sure if our listeners are aware, but with workman's comp through payroll, for example, you can actually, instead of paying it in advance for the whole year and then getting an audit at the end of the year and hopefully not a surprise bill at the end of the year, but with workman's comp, you can actually pay per payroll period, which is great for your cash flow, which is what I provide for my customers is better cash flow. But by doing that, you're able to really even out your cash flow throughout the year. And working with a smaller company versus a large national company like a small payroll provider like Al has, what they offer is that same service of using that pay as you go for workman's comp, but you don't have to use Al's provider. He can actually let you shop. You can find the best deal, use who you're comfortable with, and then he can work it out with them so it comes out of your monthly or your weekly payroll for your employees. So it's a great way to budget and then still have that flexibility and freedom.
Yeah, good point, Jerry. I should have you sell my services more often.
All right. So question number three, how does it work for me?
Um, how does it work for you as a potential client, prospect?
Yeah, yeah. How can I make the transition, and how can I make it so I increase my time or become more efficient?
Okay. Well, there's a couple ways to do that. One of the best ways is to acknowledge the current trends in the marketplace. I read an article this morning that really crystallized it for me. It was an Intuit 2020 trend report. And what it said was basically by 2020, 45% of the workforce will be independent contractors, part-timers, contract labor, consultants, or those types of titles. So when you step back as a business owner today or an executive today, we really need to step back and say, why is that happening? Why is that the growing trend where 40%, 45% of the workforce will not be employees of a company? And a couple of those reasons are companies are looking to, one, lower their cost. They want more agility. And what I mean by agility is they want to be able to ramp up to handle a spike in their business, but then just as quickly ramp back down when that opportunity has diminished. And so they're looking for that flexibility. So as business owners, we have to look at and say, how best do we position our organization so that we can capitalize and have access to that talent that we need to take on those bigger jobs, but then just as easily scale back when we don't. And there's multiple ways to do that we won't go into that level of detail today, but it's just a growing trend. And one of the things in the 2020 into a 2020 study that they did was they said small businesses are going to create partnerships. And Jared and I have done that on some levels as well, where you find like-minded business owners and you create a group and you have a partnership that focuses on providing services to clients that reach across a broad spectrum of services. And that's just a trend. So in order to get started or in order to make that transition, you got to first recognize that that is a trend, whether you like it or not. And a lot of people don't like the word outsourcing, but it's here to stay. And we have to adapt and change the mindset of the people that we hire. You know, the days of employees are going away. In the study, it also stated that very few employees are going to have full-time benefits in the future. I know Obamacare is here, but that may be funded through the government in the future and not through employers. So these are all the things that we've got to think about and take into consideration as we structure our businesses going forward and make them as lean as possible while generating the most revenue and increasing our bottom line. So I gave
Gotcha.
you a lot of information there, Jared. I'm not sure if that answered all your question.
Well, luckily I saw the post on Facebook this morning and read that too, so I just thought it was very interesting. I mean, the whole thing was like, wait a second, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Now, one of the things that we talked about before as well was opportunity costs. And I think that's something that we probably want to address as well is, as business owners, we try and cut our costs and increase our cash flow by, doing a lot of things ourselves. But I think opportunity cost is something we need to talk about because that's an opportunity that we're missing out on.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of touched on this earlier, is that the opportunity cost, and Jared and I talk about this quite a bit when we talk about key profitability factors, is understanding for most business owners is understanding what are the key numbers that drive your business. You know, a dashboard. Some people may be familiar with that concept, but it was something I learned years ago where a guy said to us that if you're sitting on an island and you're running a business and a plane was going to fly overhead uh, each day with five numbers on it. What five numbers do you need to know or need to see up there that will tell you the health of your business? You know, and that's going to be different for each one of you guys. But the key is, what are the five numbers, 10 numbers, or whatever the case may be? But let's say go with five for now, that will help you drive your business. That will help you say, I'm going in the right direction today, or I'm going backwards and I need to change something. And that's where your opportunity cost is if you don't know those five critical numbers, then you will be working on things such as payroll, which is a 9, 10, $11 an hour job, let's say, when you should be really working on a $500 an hour job or new client. So we really need to look at and say, what am I spending my time on? You know, because if we are the executives and business owners that we say we are, we should be working on tasks that generate us at least $500 an hour, and we should not be doing 10, $11 an hour tasks.
Yeah, I think that would help as far as differentiating what tasks need to be outsourced as well. So
Mm-hmm.
screen locked up again. There we go. All right, technology. Tell me about how technology can be used to manage it as well.
Well, technology is just flat out awesome, and I love technology, but it's also a trap. It's something that will allow you to be busy all day, and not focused in on the right things. And in my world, and with my customers, there's so many things that can be outsourced. And my rule in general is that for technology tools that I have to be able to make decisions using it and be able to get things done quickly from anywhere. So I have to have online access to my payroll. Most people don't know or think about you can outsource your accounts receivables and payables and get all that information online, and see it and know when your cash flow is going to hit so that you can project out your business. So you have to use technology in a way that's proactive and not reactive. And I think that's a critical piece that people don't utilize, that technology can really help you with. But the key is you want to use it so it can help you make decisions and take action. We don't need more information. We need to take action. And we need to make decisions. So you got to be able to access your information from anywhere, a cell phone, a tablet, or a computer, and you need to, and most of it's very, very inexpensive. So we just have to change the way we look at it. We don't need to constantly be updating our Facebook post, but just really utilizing technology to grow our business.
And you mentioned the accounts receivable and accounts payable. I think that's one that scares a lot of business owners as they feel they're going to lose control. But you have a source that was really inexpensive. I thought you told me for both of those services. Tell me more about like that opportunity.
Yeah, yep. There's a company out of California that's called Bill.com. And what's great about these guys is that for a flat monthly fee of $60 a month or something like that, and 50 cents per transaction, they will facilitate mailing your payables, helping you collect your receivables, send out late notices, all those types of things that would really streamline your business, and initiate the ACH transactions to collect or to debit, to send out the money to your clients. So it's a real cool way. And as I said before, at 50 cents a transaction plus a $60 base fee, excuse me, there's no way you could do that for yourself. You couldn't hire someone that would give you that level of service for that price. And then you take it a step further is once you've got this engine up and running, they will provide you a graph that will show you when your spikes in cash will happen, where your low points will be from a cash flow perspective. Because as Jared talks about, and the main point of his business is managing your cash flow and increasing your cash flow. If you don't know when your money's coming in and when your biggest exposures are, then you have a deficit in your business planning. And this is one of the tools that we offer that can help you streamline that process.
Very cool. All right, so we're getting to the end, and we got a little bit of time left. So before we go into questions, and just so everybody who's listening knows, if you do have questions, please put them in the chat box. Before we do, is there anything else you wanted to cover real quick, Al?
I just think, I guess yes. So is just pretty much understanding that the world is changing and that employee employer relationship of the past is not coming back. And we really have to strategically look and say, should I do it myself? Can I outsource it? Should I treat these folks as independent business owners? We really have to change the mindset that we have as we continue to grow our businesses. The ways of doing things 15, 20 years ago no longer apply. If everyone has health insurance or has access to health insurance on their own, is that really a place business should employers be providing that anymore? I know that's still a big debate, but you can already see where that's heading. So we really need to change and really step back and take a strategic view and say, what do I want my company to look like 10 years from now? Because most of us did not get in business to hire 100 employees, 15 employees, or 20 employees, because with employees come headaches and problems and issues. And those are the things that we've got to figure out and say, we only want the right people on our team, and the rest we'll do in a different way. So That's my challenge to the listeners today is to really step back and really change how they're approaching structuring their business.
Okay. And for our listeners, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box and we will address them. Right now, we don't have any, which is kind of funny because usually we have like a bunch of them starting on the first slide. So I'm going to give us to the count of three. And if I don't see one, I'll let you guys know that you can also email me afterwards. And what I'll do is get that question to Al and have him respond to you. So, all right, count of three. One, going, gone. Okay. So if we don't have any questions, we will move on. Al, you or do you have a? I know because we did the Success Summit a couple weeks ago. Do you have a special offer or like a how-to guide on outsourcing that you can present to to the audience?
Yeah, what I have is for those that are interested and they reach out to Jared, is I'm offering three free business analyst templates. And what these templates will allow you to do is once you load in the information, it will help you make certain decisions around outsourcing, uh, helping you understand what some key profitability factors are. So it's a very robust tool. I'm trying to give you the simple. I'm giving you the simpler ones, and I do have more robust ones to help you with the process as well. But I'll give you three free business analyst templates at no cost, just for reaching out to Jared.
Yeah, I think I worked with one of them while we are actually at the Success Summit a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was really neat how it pointed out issues in my business that I needed to address. So if you guys are just the least bit curious, go ahead and email myself or Al. Both of our emails are on the screen, and then you can get that free template, and he can kind of walk you through it. And it's really kind of eye-opening and as far as what you can do to improve things at your business. All right. So one thing I wanted to say before we go is that I do this for my clients for no charge. As far as webinars go, and I do it kind of to build trust and hopefully the idea is that you guys get some more background on what I do. So please visit my website at jaredsparr.com and check it out. We offer a discovery session where one of the services we offer is cost reduction. And for a $100 discovery session, we guarantee to reduce your cost by a minimum of $500. So it's a great return on investment. And you can check that out at jaredsparr.com. If you guys have more questions for Al, his website and email address and phone number is on the screen as well. And let's see here, make sure I didn't forget anything before I let you all go. And it looks like we are pretty good. So if you guys want to check out this later, again, go to jaredsparr.com and you can see it. And I also will be sending you an email with a link. So, Al, I really certainly and sincerely appreciate your time talking to us today and sharing everything.
Thank you. I
Uh,
appreciate the opportunity.
all right. So for everybody, I want to make sure you make each day profitable and have a great day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.